What's New in Fantasy, December 2024. Hello, welcome to What's New, the series on my channel where we talk about new releases coming out each and every month. Let's jump right into it and start with December 1st. We have Norcliff by K.A. Connolly. A great loss. Erin Hart is devastated when she loses her fiancé and parents on her wedding day. To get her parents back, she must choose between bowing to the demands of the neighboring Mortons or gathering what allies she can and fighting to free herself from their clutches. A powerful foe, the Mortons hold Erin's parents hostage and won't brook any refusal to comply with their wishes. Ardent Morton has demanded Erin's hand in marriage, and with it, the control of Erin's home, Norcliff, a looming threat. Erin must travel to the capital to seek help from King Ulrich and the nobles at court, but the bandits harrying Arndale from the north. What aid can Erin hope to receive? Then on December 3rd, we have Rebel Blade by Davinia Evans, and this is The Burnished City number 3. So we will look at book number 1. And book number 1 is called The Notorious Sorcerer. Welcome to Bazim, where sword-slinging bravi race through the night, and where rich and idle alchemists make magic out of mixing and measuring the 4 planes of reality. Cyan Velo, dockside brat turned petty alchemist, scrapes a living hopping between the planes to harvest ingredients for the city's alchemists. But when Cyan accidentally commits an act of impossible magic, he's catapulted into the limelight, which is a bad place to be when the planes start lurching out of alignment, threatening to send the city into the sea. It will take a miracle to save Bazim. Good thing Cyan has pulled off the impossible before. Now he just has to master it. And still on the 3rd, we have Encanto, Nightmares and Suenos by Alex Segura. 17-year-old Bruno has never really fit in with his family. Why can't he be as outgoing as his sister Peppa, or as friendly as his sister Julieta? Does he like being the awkward loner who never seems to find where he can fit in? But it's hard to be popular when you have the power to tell the future and people don't always like what you are telling them. So Bruno devises an act and begins to model the behavior he feels the town wants to see in a hero. Then we have Queen of Fury by Natania Barron, and this is Queens of Fate book number 2. Book number 1 is called Queen of None. Married at 12 and a mother soon after, King Arthur's sister Anna did not live a young life full of promise. She bore 3 strong sons and delivered the kingdom of Orkney to her brother by the way of her marriage. She did as she was asked, invisible and useful for her name, her dowry, and her womb. Now 20 years after she left her home, Anna is summoned back to Carolyn with the crown of her now dead husband to face the demons of her childhood, her sisters Morgan, Elaine, and Morgase, Merlin and his scheming priests, and Bedivere, the man she once loved. Carolyn is changing, and Anna must change with it. New threats lurk in the shadows, and a strange power begins to awaken in her. If she is to be more than a pawn in others' plans, she must bargain her own strength and family in pursuit of her ambition and revenge. Then we have The Peculiar Garden of Harriet Hunt by Chelsea Iversen. A lush, enchanting story of a woman who must use the magic of the fantastical plants that adorn her crumbling estate in Victorian London to thwart the dark plots of the men around her. Harriet Hunt is completely alone. Her father disappeared months ago, leaving her to wander the halls of Sunnyside House, dwelling on a past she'd rather keep buried. She doesn't often venture beyond her front gate, instead relishing the feel of dirt under her fingernails and the soft moss beneath her feet. Consequently, she's been deemed a little too peculiar for popular Victorian society. The solitary life suits her fine though, because in her garden magic awaits. Harriet's garden is special. It's a place full of twisting ivy, vibrant plums, and quiet power that buzzes like bees. Caring for this place and keeping it from running rampant through the streets of her London suburb is Harriet's purpose. When suspicion of her father's disappearance falls on her, she marries a seemingly charming man, the first to see past her peculiarities in order to protect herself. It's soon clear, however, that her new husband might be worse than her father and that she's integral to a dark plot created by the men around her. To free herself and discover the truth, she must learn to channel the power of her strange magical garden. Then we have Sister Snake by Amanda Lee Coe. Sisterhood is difficult for Sue and Emerald. Sue leads a sheltered, moneyed life as the picture-perfect wife of a conservative politician in Singapore. Emerald is a nihilistic sugar baby in New York, living from whim to whim as she freely uses her beauty and charms to make ends meet. But they share a secret. Once they were snakes, basking under a full moon in Tang Dynasty China. 1,000 years later, their mysterious history is the only thing still binding them together. When Emerald experiences a violent encounter in Central Park and Sue boards the next flight to New York, the two reach a tenuous reconciliation for the first time in decades. Sue convinces Emerald to move to Singapore so she can keep an eye on her, but she soon begins to worry that Emerald's irresponsible behavior will out them both in a sparkling, affluent city where everything runs like clockwork and a deviation from the norm is automatically suspect. Then we have, on December 6th, Wind and Truth by Brandon Sanderson, which is the Stormlight Archive number 5. And if you somehow don't know what this is yet, we'll talk about The Way of Kings. Roshar is a world of stone and storms. Uncanny tempests of incredible power sweep across the rocky terrain so frequently that they have shaped ecology and civilization alike. Animals hide in shells, trees pull in branches, and grass retracts into the soilless ground. Cities are built only where the topography offers shelter. It has been centuries since the fall of the 10 consecrated orders known as the Knights Radiant, but their shard blades and shard plate remain. Mystical swords and suits of armor that transform ordinary men into near-invincible warriors. Men trade kingdoms for shard blades. Wars were fought for them and won by them. One such war rages on a ruined landscape called the Shattered Plains. There, Kaladin, who traded his medical apprenticeship for a spear to protect his little brother, has been reduced to slavery. In a war that makes no sense, where 10 armies fight separately against a single foe, he struggles to save his men and to fathom the leaders who consider them expendable. Bright Lord Dalinar Kholin commands one of those other armies. Like his brother, the late king, he is fascinated by an ancient text called The Way of Kings. Troubled by overpowering visions of ancient times and the Knights Radiant, he has begun to doubt his own sanity. Across the ocean, an untrained young woman named Shallan seeks to train under an eminent scholar and notorious heretic, Dalinar's niece, Yasna. Though she genuinely loves learning, Shallan's motives are less than pure, and she plans a daring theft. Her research for Yasna's hints at secrets of the Knights Radiant and the true cause of the war. Then on the 10th, we have I Made It Out of Clay by Beth Kander. Nothing's going well for Eve. She's single, turning 40, stressed at work, and anxious about a recent series of increasingly creepy incidents. Most devastatingly, her beloved father died last year, and her family still won't acknowledge their sorrow. With her younger sister's wedding rapidly approaching, Eve is on the verge of panic. She can't bear to attend the event alone. That's when she recalls a strange story her Yiddish grandmother once told her about a protector forged of desperation. And Eve, to her own shock, manages to create a golem. At first, everything seems great. The golem is indeed protective and also attractive. But when they head out to a rural summer camp for the family wedding, Eve's light-hearted rom-com fantasy swiftly mudslides into something much darker. And then on the 13th, we have Lady Luck, Fate Unbinding by Ralynn Kimie. And this is the Infernal Artifacts Collection number 4. Corpse Walker, The Night Parade is book 1. War has been declared. The supernatural group Yamata no Orochi controls Imperial Japanese forces as the country drags the United States into World War II. Commander Isami Mori seeks to collect a broken infernal artifact scattered across the Pacific Ocean necessary to execute his sinister plan. His followers dispatch a secret agent to recover a piece lost during the bombing of Pearl Harbor, resulting in a shocking discovery that the United States may have otherworldly allies of their own. A mysteriously resurrected Marine must stop a Japanese demon from ending humanity. Then on the 17th, we have A Cruel Thirst by Angela Montoya. Carolina Fuentes has always wanted to join her family in hunting down the bloodthirsty monsters that plague her pueblo. But these days, her father wants her out of town with a husband of his choosing. That's not happening. Carolina plans to show everyone that she'd make a better vampire slayer than wife. But when she runs into a sediento that is not only handsome but kind, she questions everything. Lalo Villalobos doesn't act on impulses. As the eldest of two, his duties were to carry on the family business, marry, and have children. But then he is turned into a sediento and must flee the city, taking lives as he goes north, where he believes the first vampire was made. Surely the pueblo there will have the answers to reverse this curse and end sedientos altogether. Another unexpected turn. Lalo runs right into a beautiful young woman who'd gladly stake him. Fortunately, mostly for him, they share a common enemy. They can stop these evil beasts together. And if along the way, Lalo and Fernanda discover that it is truly live and love, then they'll have won anyway. Then we have A Breathless Sky by Veronica G. Henry. And this is Scorched Earth number 2. Book number 1 is The Canopy Keepers. Beneath the forest floor, they watch. Syra Carthen doesn't know why she accepted a job as the first female fire chief at Sequoia National Park, where decades earlier a fire killed her parents. That day her brother Romello disappeared, as if pulled into a scorched earth itself. Syra has always had an uncanny affinity for the natural wonders of the park she protects, but after she sanctions a prescribed burn that goes terribly wrong, she quits her position in disgrace. However, when another devastating wildfire breaks out, Syra reluctantly pulls back into action, discovers an unknown world that has existed underground since the beginning of time. This secret society, built around the forest complex root system, is now divided into two factions. One is ruled by the Keeper, the giant sequoia's benevolent caretaker, the other by a mysterious undoer, who's determined to wage war on humanity. Through him, nature can retaliate and wipe out the Earth's careless ravagers for good. Torn between human loyalty and preserving the delicate balance of nature, Syra must make a choice, one that will change both her destiny and that of the world above and below forever. Next we have North is the Night by Emily Rath. In the Finnish wilderness, more than wolves roam the dark forests. For Sira and Aina, summer's fading light is a harbinger of unwelcome change. Land-hungry Swedes venture north, threatening the peace. A zealous Christian priest denounces the old ways, and young women have begun to disappear. Sairi vows to protect Aina from danger, but even Sairi cannot stop a death goddess from dragging her friend to Tuonela, the mythical underworld. Determined to save Aina, Sairi braves a dangerous journey north to seek the greatest shaman of legend, the only person to venture to the realm of death and return alive. In Tuonela, the cruel witch queen turns Aina's every waking moment into a living nightmare. But armed with compassion and cleverness, Aina learns the truth of her capture. The king of the underworld himself has plans for her. To return home, Aina must bargain her heart, and Sairi plots a daring rescue of the woman she loves the most. Then on the 20th, we have The Witch's Rite by Emberly Wyndham. Book 1 is called The Witch's Cottage. When Aurora Silvermoon inherits her auntie's cottage in the cozy village of Fawnwood, she's thrilled. But when she and her talking cat familiar, Harrison, arrive in early spring, it's a different story. The paint is peeling, the veranda is about to fall clean off, and there are literal holes in the roof. The cottage needs a lot of work before she could call it a home. Enter Alden Stonewood, the grumpy village carpenter. Though he agrees to help Aurora fix up her cottage, he has no intention of catching feelings for the little green-haired witch. But every time she flashes him a freckled smile or hands him a cup of steaming lavender tea, his frozen heart melts a little more, and he's not so sure he'll be able to resist her. Then we have A Sky of Emerald Stars by A.K. Mulford. And that is The Golden Court number 2. Book number 1 is called A River of Golden Bones. Twins Kala and Briar have spent their entire lives hiding from the powerful sorceress who destroyed their kingdom, and from the humans who don't know they are wolves. Each twin has their own purpose in life. Briar's is to marry the prince of an ally pack and save the Golden Court. Kala's purpose is to remain a secret, her twin's shadow, the backup plan. No one knows who Kala truly is except for her childhood friend and sister's betrothed, the distinctively handsome Prince Grey. But when Kala and Briar journey out of hiding for Briar's wedding, all of their well-made plans go awry. The evil sorceress is back, and another sleeping curse for the last heir of the Golden Court. Kala must step out of the shadows to save their sister, their kingdom, and their own legacy. Continuing to hide as a human and denying who she truly is, Kala embarks on a quest across the realm, discovering a whole world she never knew existed. Outside the confines of a rigged wolf society, Kala brings to wonder, who could she be if she dared to try? Then we have Heavenly Tyrant by Xiran J. Zhao. And that is Iron Widow number 2. Book number 1 is Iron Widow. The boys of Huaxia dream of pairing up with the girls to pilot Chrysalis's giant transforming robots that they can battle the mecha aliens that lurk beyond the Great Wall. It doesn't matter that the girls often die from the mental strain. When 18-year-old Zetian offers herself up as a concubine pilot, it is to assassinate the ace male pilot responsible for her sister's death. But she gets her vengeance in a way nobody expected. She kills him through the psychic link between pilots and emerges from the cockpit unscathed. She is labeled an Iron Widow, a much feared and much silenced kind of female pilot who can sacrifice boys to power up the Chrysalises instead. To tame her unnerving yet invaluable mental strength, she is paired up with Li Shimin, the strongest and most controversial male pilot in Huaxia. But now that Zetian has had a taste of power, she will not cower so easily. She will miss no opportunity to leverage their combined might and infamy to survive attempt after attempt on her life, until she can figure out exactly why the pilot system works in its misogynist way and stop more girls from being sacrificed. Then on the 26th, we have The Lost Pack by Sophie Davis. A fallen pack, a stolen throne, an alpha's daughter with vengeance in her heart. The twin comets were meant to bring peace to the Ophiuchus Wolfpack. Instead, they unleashed chaos. Drake Aspen, once the privileged daughter of the Alpha, loses everything in a single night. Her family, her freedom, her pack. Now imprisoned in the Snake Mountains under the rule of a ruthless usurper, Drake is no longer a leader, but a pawn. With Penn Williams, the pack's enigmatic beta, assigned to guard her every move, the lines between enemy and ally blur. There's an undeniable spark between them, but Drake knows better than to trust him. He's hiding deadly secrets. As whispers of an ancient prophecy grow louder, Drake must make a choice, uncover the truth, rally a rebellion, or lose her pack forever. Her fate and her heart hang in the balance. Betrayal is inevitable, vengeance is close, but will it be enough to save them all? And last we have The Losting Fountain by Laura Senf. Ember, Miles, and Sam have been called home. Only home is a place none of them have ever been before. The choices they make will not only determine their own futures, but also have vast and permanent consequences. They will either restore a cosmic balance or destroy the dams that separate two worlds. ending them both. Ember was called because she belonged, Miles because his mother belonged, and Sam, well, Sam arranged his own invitation. The fountain itself is beautiful and alluring, yet so is the light of an anglerfish. Hidden below the surface, the world of the fountain is unexplored and unmapped and full of wild things. Leviathan and tiny, scuttling things, and all manner of creature in between. There are other entities as well, entities that haunt and hunt in the fountain, because it rewards nearly as often as it punishes, and it has been punishing the greedy and merciless and cruel for a very long time. For those, the fountain becomes a prison. The borders between our world and the world of the fountain are already porous. If the balance between them is upset and control of the fountain is lost, the consequences will be rapid, merciless, and world-ending. In every timeline that has been or will be, everywhere that water stands in our world will become a passageway for the violent damned to enter ours from the fountain. For Ember, Miles, and Sam, all from different times, what starts as a journey to take control of their lives quickly becomes a quest to save or destroy both worlds, depending on whom you ask. And there you have it. Those are the new releases of December. There's definitely some interesting ones in there. I am definitely reading Wind and Truth as soon as it comes out, and I think I will have to put a couple of those others on my TBR. Let me know what you think of these new releases, which ones stand out to you in the comments. And with that said, like the video if you haven't, subscribe if you want to, and I'd love to see you in here again later. Beneath the florist floor, Ciri vows to protect Aina from danger, but even Ciri cannot stop a death goddess. Shush.